Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and whenever you're watching me right now. My name is Jay Luke, the owner and operator of the Passionates Network, where we amplify the voices, elevate the culture, and champion the musicians. Don't forget, you can get anything in our store. And once you get everything in your cart, you can get 30% off your final purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this information out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So I got the text message. I got a text message. And I'll start it another way. It's over. It's done. And I don't think anything happened in the specific situation that was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, other than the fact that, a lot of people just have a problem with or had a problem with the fact that they performed at the inauguration within itself. But we're gonna look at this performance real quick because I got a lot of comments on this. And so I want to go ahead and watch some of it, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts. So really quickly, let's really kind of talk about it very quick, right? So apparently, remember that obviously the inauguration parade was supposed to be outside, and that didn't necessarily happen because of the winter weather, and so they ended up performing inside. All right, so there's a little context. Taking a real long time to set up. I think it's absolutely crazy how big Mississippi Valley is right now. And I've talked to multiple people, and again, shout out to Miguel Bonds and the growth that he's been able to produce there, and almost anywhere he goes. But it's just absolutely nuts to be able to see Valley this big. Yeah, it's crazy. So a couple people told me that it didn't sound too great, and let me push further a little bit, and maybe it'll change. So yeah, and I'll give my thoughts in a second. All right, we're gonna stop it right there. So a couple of things first before we get into my thoughts. So one of the first things that I can start off by saying is that I heard or I saw somebody who were, I think I heard it or I saw it, I can't remember, But they were making the comparison about the high school that sounded better than them. I think there was that came after them. So in order to be able to really respond to something that similar, I'm going to go back a ways. So the first thing that we do know is that they had to set up in this particular position kind of impromptu. This setup, I would say, is not conducive for any band, but a band of that size just kind of made it work. And I don't really think that that's a bad thing. You know, in those situations, you got to make it work for as best you can. The second thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt slightly, is that what we tend to hear is we tend to hear the same trumpet player, which means that there's a microphone that's probably set up that's directly in front of them catching that sound. You know, it's very similar to what I said about UAPB when they were doing the WWE thing, whereas they don't set their mics to be prepared for surround sound from a band program or anything like that. So whatever mic is there, it could be a single directional mic, a one directional mic, it could be omnidirectional. You're not necessarily getting um a multi-directional surround sound, with all the bells and whistles and so on and so forth. You're not getting all that. What you're getting is, from what I can tell, a one directional mic with that sound going in. So there's that. But the other thing that I would obviously say is you got to know your music and you got to know it right. I mean, some of the entrances were a little bit off time. That could be because of the room, the echo in the room, a lot of phasing, so on and so forth. And I'm just talking about from that, the trumpet players that we were able to hear. The other part about that, and this is a multi-layered thing. So you gotta go with me for a second. The other thing with it is the fact that it goes back to one of the questions that I've asked before, right? Which is playing the loud game. It can be a gift and a curse. Because in this particular instance, because I went and listened to that high school, and in this particular instance, overplaying didn't help you. It actually hurt you because you were not blending with the rest of the group. And this, you're just, you're doing the characteristic thing, which is playing loud. And sometimes playing loud doesn't give you or tend to give you the best results when you're in uncomfortable spaces that are not normal spaces that you're used to. Now, the other half of that too is, as a performer, I'm gonna tell you this. Usually when we had like major performances, specifically when we were in high school, but not, most of the time when we had like major performances where cameras were on us, as a trumpet player, we didn't scream a lot. We really played everything in the staff, and we did our best possible job to make sure that we blended very well, because we knew that we were being recorded on a national stage, and so we did not necessarily want to take that risk of, you know, overshooting or undershooting, going too flat or going too sharp, so on and so forth. And so I probably would have said, hey, everybody play in the staff, play the music where it's written, so on and so forth. But again, going back to the loud game, when you're not necessarily balanced and blending and thinking about, all right, well, who has the melody here, who, where are the counter melodies, what voice needs to speak the most, and so on and so forth, and you're just kind of out there shooting for the stars. Well, when you have a situation like this where you got microphones in front of you, they gonna pick up whoever the loudest person is. But I will say this. I think there's a silver lining in all of this, right? I don't necessarily think that they sounded that great. I'm gonna be honest. But I will also say the silver lining is that out of all the communication, because apparently, again, some bands didn't perform. They were a band that was chosen to continue to perform even with the weather situation. Now, there can be multiple reasons for that. One of the reasons is because it shows that, you know, the Republican Party is open to being diverse. And so for their most diverse group, I mean, you had Snoop there, you had Nelly there, and now we're going to have an HBCU marching band perform. Probably was a tactical move. But regardless of what it was, we were able to be, or our programs, one of our HBCU programs was able to be seen in a space that, again, would not necessarily be in that particular space for us. Now, I get it. There are some people out there who are just like, it's still not cool, so on and so forth. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinions and everybody's entitled to their thoughts. But again, like I said before, other than being super cold, this is the experience for those kids. And regardless of whether you are an independent, a Democrat, or a Republican, those kids are or were in DC. Cold, but they there. They may, according to their itinerary, they may have had the opportunity to go and visit the Smithsonian Museum and go and visit and see, all of the things that, our people have to offer within the Black Museum. They may have been able to go and see monuments and all that kind of stuff. We don't know necessarily what their itinerary was, but for them, this is a memorable performance. And HBCU got the light shine on them in this arena for whatever reason, or not gonna say for whatever reason, but they had the light being able to be shown on them on a national stage. Again, with people who more than likely would have never seen them anyway. And who knows? Just because it sounded like this to us in the camera doesn't necessarily mean it sounded like that in the room. And it could have been somebody in there who was impressed by their sound. Who knows? At the end of the day, they did it. They were on a national stage. And it's over. And at this point, I mean, are we blackballing Mississippi Valley? I'm just asking. Is that a thing? Like, are we really going to blackball Mississippi Valley? I don't necessarily agree with that if that's the comment or the route people are going, because I'm pretty sure they're going to end up at Mardi Gras. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there. So does that mean that nobody's going to battle them? Nobody's going to listen to them? It is what it is, man. So you guys tell me your thoughts, man. Do you all think that they gave a good performance at this inauguration? Do you think that the performance could have been a little better? And if you do think the performance could have been a little bit better, then what do you think probably should have been the best course of action for garnering a better performance, other than the fact that they just shouldn't have won? Because I know that that's going to be a comment from somebody, well, they just shouldn't have won anyway. Karma is just, what it is. What it. I can just see somebody saying that right now. But anyway, man, I want to see all this stuff inside of the comment section. Don't forget, you can get anything in our store. All you got to do is put it inside of your cart, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.